Good evening, everyone. Today we are here at the third edition of the VC Circle e-commerce forum, and we have with us Mr. Murali Krishnan, the country manager for eBay India. Hello, sir.
Hi.
So today everyone is talking about the e-commerce boost that has come in India. How much of it is actually happening, and how much is a myth?
Look, it's actually a bit of both. So in the middle of last year, Make My Trip debuted on NASDAQ with close to $1 billion valuation. And all of a sudden that seems to have sparked the desire and imagination of hundreds of entrepreneurs and venture capital investors in India. So you have entrepreneurs living the startup dream and hoping to create the next $1 billion company. And of course you have the venture capitalists and other investors again following suit. While I must say that there is a very definite acceleration of the e-commerce market in India. Well, the IAMAI last year in its report said the market is growing at about 30%. This year it's probably in the 40-45% range, and next year I believe it will accelerate even further. So I'd say it's a bit of both. There is to a certain extent some good positive traction in the market, but there is also a certain degree of hype and a mini bubble which is getting created thanks to all the frenzy that's happening around us.
Okay, so the evaluation that are happening, Flipkart just hit a $1 billion evaluation. Do you actually feel it is good that the venture capitals are actually investing continuously and regularly in firms, or will that actually hinder?
Look, I pretty much can't comment on Flipkart's valuation because I don't think there's been any confirmation either from that company or from the supposed investor who's supposed to be investing at $1 billion valuation. But that aside, while there are some good, interesting investments happening in good, sustainable, long-term plays.
So there have been recent reports that Amazon is entering India. How do you think will it change the e-commerce scenario in India? How will it help or will it hinder the competition?
If and when Amazon does enter the market, I believe it will only help add to the overall growth of e-commerce in India. Internationally, like eBay, Amazon is a very renowned player, and they have a combination of first-party e-tail as well as a third-party marketplace. And I'm not sure what kind of business model they're going to adopt in India, but having good players who have an eye on building long-term sustainable businesses will only mean positive things happening for the e-commerce market in India. And that's exactly the kind of competition which is required for us to build e-commerce as a large industry and offer a genuine alternative to the shopper who's currently going and shopping in offline retail. Because what you need to understand is that online commerce has fundamental advantages vis-a-vis offline retail. You get much better value because the cost of operations are far lower, and therefore you can get a cell phone cheaper online than you can get offline. You get much better selection. The variety of products that you can offer online is far greater than what is offered offline. And of course there's this entire angle of convenience. No traffic jams, no checkout queues, no hassles in parking and so on. So frankly, as I see it, having good credible competition who have an eye on building long-term businesses is what's required for the e-commerce market in India, and therefore I don't think it'll have a negative impact at all. It'll only mean good things for us, and we'd love to have such competition because it'll stretch us further and help us offer better value to the consumer and go faster.
So do you feel that it'll add respectability to the e-commerce sector?
That's an interesting question. Over the last 18 to 24 months, actually let me just say the last 36 months, the kind of business growth that we have been seeing with eBay has been phenomenal. We've been seeing very high double digit growth on fairly large basis, and therefore we see the trust deficit that used to exist earlier, or credibility deficit which used to exist with e-commerce earlier, over a period of time that's actually getting eroded. So I'm not sure if a large competitor entering is going to change the credibility equation per se, because people know that pretty much, hey, if you go to a good reputed site, let's say like eBay, and you do a transaction, pretty much everything is going to go on smooth. If something happens, yes, there is a returns management policy or a guarantee policy which will take care of your concerns. So to that extent, I'm not sure if credibility is what's going to get impacted, but overall consumer awareness will definitely improve and increase.
Okay, so earlier you mentioned that you're not sure what business model Amazon is going to take in India. Which business model do you actually think works for India?
India is a country of retailers and entrepreneurs, right? We have hundreds and thousands of people who manage their own destiny by setting up their own businesses. That's exactly the reason why eBay entered this market way back in 2005, right? Because eBay being a marketplace, we only provide a platform. We provide a platform for individual entrepreneurs to extend and expand their businesses online. Therefore, a small retailer, let's say in a town like Kota in Rajasthan, currently his catchment area is his neighborhood. But when he participates in a marketplace platform like eBay, he gets access not just to a national audience but actually a global audience, because eBay is present pretty much across various parts of the world. Therefore, it is my firm belief that a marketplace model brings out the best in terms of a wide variety of selection, because hundreds and thousands of sellers can sell on that platform, and because of the inherent competition between sellers, the customer gets the best possible price, because naturally there is inherent price competition, and he also gets the best possible service because competition forces businesses to go one step ahead of others in providing better customer service. And therefore, I am very, very confident that marketplaces are the right model to scale e-commerce in India.
Okay, so what has been the growth like for eBay India?
Over the last 3 years, Anand, like I said, we've seen phenomenal growth, and like I said, on very, very high basis, and that's only accelerating. In part due to market growth, also in part because of the various new initiatives that we keep rolling over a period of time. I mean, we've rolled PaisaPay solution. We're in the process of rolling out a logistics solution. We've done various integrations with banks and other payment gateways to expand the number of payment options available. We have enhanced the user search and finding experience by integrating catalogs. All of this, plus of course, the sheer fact of word of mouth, right? A person shops on eBay, has a good experience, he tells a bunch of other people. On Facebook, for example, we just crossed the landmark milestone of 1 million fans. We are the first e-commerce business in India to cross 1 million fan base on Facebook, and for us that's a fantastic engagement medium, because there we get to tell our consumers about the kind of offerings and products that are available on eBay, and they get to discuss it, they get to share it with their friends, and we get a lot of traffic even from Facebook. So a combination of all of this is only resulting in further acceleration in our growth, and we are very bullish and optimistic about our future here, and we are pretty confident of retaining and also even strengthening our leadership position in this market.
So if you measure the growth in terms of percentage, how much has been the growth?
Look, because of global disclosure or corporate disclosure policies, I can't tell you the exact number, but what I can definitely tell you is our growth is in the very high double-digit number, and pretty soon we'll get into the triple-digit territory and accelerate even further. That's it in terms of, let's say, transaction velocity. We sell an item pretty much every minute. Let's see that in context, right? If eBay were a physical store, there will be a buyer at our checkout counter every minute of the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year. It's a store that's open 24/7, and it can only keep scaling and growing thanks to the love and affection that our consumers show us.
Okay, so before you talked about the payment methods, you've said that you've actually brought in new payment methods. Which payment method do you actually feel works best for the Indian audience?
Look, in the industry, there are two views on it. Our view is that the best possible payment method to offer the Indian consumer would be online payments. Case in point, about 85% of our transactions happen through online payment methods: credit cards, debit cards, and online bank transfers. And that's courtesy our in-house payment method called PaisaPay, which has now become a safe and trusted payment method in the Indian e-commerce industry. A lot of people look at PaisaPay and say, yes, this is a payment method I can trust, this is a site I can trust, and therefore let me pay using PaisaPay. So online payments work really well for us. Cash on delivery forms a very small part of our business. But I am told that for a lot of other e-commerce players in India, cash on delivery accounts to about 50-60% of their business. Which is interesting, and I can understand why that's the case. A lot of people either do not have credit or debit cards, or for some reason do not want to put their credit and debit card online. I mean, the myth still continues that using a credit card online is unsafe, but that's changing over a period of time. But there are fundamental challenges with cash on delivery, and let me name a few. One, the cost of using cash on delivery as a shipping method for the merchant, for the seller, for the site is way too high, right? And ultimately that gets passed on to the consumer. The consumer has to pay a higher price. The second big problem is one of returns. The industry average is about 30-40% returns, which means out of 100 orders, 30-40% get returned back to the merchant, right? And there's actually devaluation of the item value because there's a two-way transit. Items gets damaged in transit, there's an amount of depreciation in value, etc. So effectively for the merchant, many a time it could be a loss-making proposition to scale COD We're talking to a lot of the large couriers in India in figuring out what the right systemic solution to scale cash on delivery is. And we're having something launching the end of next month, and we are quite optimistic that that could be the right solution that can help scale COD even further and actually accelerate our growth rates even more.
Okay, so in a country where the actual credit card penetration is just 1 to 5%, if you compare it with US where it's more than 100%, one individual in US has more than one credit card.
Sure.
Whereas for say 100 people here, only 5 people have credit cards. So what do you feel? How much time will it actually take for India to actually reach that level where when online transactions would actually be the thing to do?
So there's a correction here. Online transaction need not only mean credit card. There are credit cards and there are debit cards. The number of debit cards in circulation is probably 4 or 5 times the number of credit cards. And then there is internet banking. So frankly speaking, if you add credit card, debit card and internet banking, you actually are talking about a fairly sizable sum of people who are interested in transacting online. In fact, what we have observed is the interest of using EMI with credit cards. Right? We work with some of the largest credit card issuing banks in India in offering 3 and 6 month EMI facility to the consumer. So for someone who's buying, let's say, a smartphone which costs 25,000 rupees, it just is so much more convenient because there is no processing overhead involved and so on. He just does the transaction seamlessly online and automatically it gets charged as 6 monthly installments on his credit card. Things like this are what are actually driving credit card usage. That's one from a demand perspective. The other angle is actually the entire security of credit card transactions, which is changing perceptions on credit card usage. I just referred to the myth on using a credit card online, how unsafe it is. A couple of years ago, the Reserve Bank of India mandated a second factor authentication for all online credit card transactions. It was stated in the e-commerce industry, including travel, that it only means very bad news for e-commerce and our transactions will come crashing down and so on and so forth. We saw the reverse impact, right? Our transactions accelerated further after the introduction of 3D Secure, I think it was in August 2009. And the basic reason is people today feel far more safe and secure using their credit card online. So attitudes are changing, and attitudes are changing so fast that it's a huge opportunity for us to leverage, and thankfully with our high online payment penetration, we believe we are absolutely in the right direction there.
Okay. So what are your expansion plans?
When you say expansion plans, let me answer it this way. As an overall business, we've seen fantastic traction, right? Our priority areas would be as follows. The first one would actually be to ensure that we implement a logistics solution which leverages our strength as a marketplace. We have sellers spread across all the large cities in this country and actually beyond. Our demand is also distributed in that manner. So our first priority is to implement a logistics solution that leverages our strength and advantage as a marketplace. That's one focus area. The second focus area for us, unlike most other e-commerce companies in India, is in the realm of loyalty, right? We believe that providing the right experience and the right incentives to the customer to build long-term value is one way of building a huge sustainable profitable business. Our goal is very clear. We want to build a business which has sustained market leadership with profitability, right? Let's say that's the end state. Loyalty, we believe buyer loyalty is a huge area of focus and investment for us, and we will continue to invest in that next year. The third one is in the realm of supply acquisition and cross-border trade. We currently have quite a few hundreds of thousands of sellers selling on the site, but we believe there is an opportunity to get entrepreneurs to expand and extend their business online, and therefore will continue to invest in seller acquisition to enable offline merchants, retailers, traders, exporters, etc. to start leveraging the eBay platform to not just sell to the domestic audience, but also leverage eBay's global reach to sell to consumers across United States, UK, Europe, Germany, Australia, and so on and so forth. And the last one is on mobile commerce. Globally, we are pioneering mobile commerce literally. Last year, through our iPhone, Android, iPad and various other applications globally, we delivered $2 billion of business there. using mobile devices. This is people shopping on mobile phones. This year globally that number is expected to double to 4 billion. So we have a lot of learning that we take from there and apply that on the second largest mobile phone market in the world, which is India after China, which is close to 800 million mobile users. So we've just launched an end-to-end experience on the mobile device wherein you can do your entire shopping on the phone and pay using credit cards. Very soon we're going to be launching our applications for the iPhone and Android platforms. And the other angle that we are exploring very actively, and we actually have a small beta, is an SMS, a text message based price check solution.
Okay.
What we want to do there is, when a person goes to an offline shop to buy something, we want to be in the back of his mind, and therefore if I'm looking to buy a mobile phone or an LCD TV, if I have a nagging doubt that I could get it cheaper elsewhere, all I send is an SMS to eBay saying SMS, iPhone 4, and you get the 3 best deals for that iPhone 4 on eBay as an SMS on your phone. You can then decide to either come to eBay on your mobile device to shop, or maybe even use that information to negotiate a better rate with the
Will that
shopkeeper.
SMS be chargeable?
Yes, it will be chargeable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you talked about the global scenario of eBay. If you compare the growth of eBay India with, say, the growth of eBay US or the UK,
Yeah.
in comparison, how has India grown? Is it grown faster or is it still lagging behind?
Short answer, it's growing significantly faster. For eBay, India is amongst the fastest growing domestic markets. But that said, you should see that in the context of the stage of evolution of the market, right? E-commerce in the US and Western Europe have evolved to a very large extent, right? E-commerce has been established there for the last 10-15 years, whereas in India, it's a last 5, 6, 7 year phenomenon. And yes, eBay views India as a fairly nascent early stage market with a huge future growth potential, which is why we entered this market pretty early in 2004, are now in a leadership position, and courtesy the growth rates that we are delivering today and our assessment of market growth rates as well as industry assessments of market growth rates, we pretty much seem to be leading the charge in terms of growth here too.
Okay. So what are your predictions? Where will actually the e-commerce sector be in, say, 2015?
It's a very tough call. Right now, it's a fraction, maybe at best 1% of offline retail, which is actually a small percentage of overall retail. I think a good number to gun for would be, let's say, to get 10% of organized retail in India. 10-15% would be a fairly good number, because right now it's about, let's say, 2,000 crores. I'm not sure if I recall right, but offline retail organized retail would be about 30,000 crores. So you're a small fraction right now. If you can get to 10, 15, 20% of organized retail in India, then e-commerce in India would be in a good place to scale even further, let's say by the year 2014.
Okay. So do you feel that a e-com retailer has the potential to become the biggest retailer in India? Because unlike US, where you have Walmarts, in India there's an absence of one market leader. So is there a chance?
I'd say yes, there is a chance. But we'll also need to view this in the context of the fact that a lot of offline retailers today are also having online plays. And therefore it'll be a very interesting tussle. I mean, I really don't want to soothsay and say, hey, this is possible or not possible, or when that will happen or how that can happen. But if you're saying, hey, is there a probability that will happen? I'd say, yeah, most probably yes.
Okay. So do you feel that an online e-commerce retailer has the potential to become the biggest retailer in India? Because unlike US, where you have Walmarts, here there's an absence of one market leader.
Very interesting question. I just rephrased the question in saying, can an online e-commerce player be the largest retailer in India? Because eBay is not a retailer, eBay is a marketplace, and that's how I just rephrased it. But I'd say very much possible, and for a few reasons. One, the online shop, the online e-commerce site has an infinite number of branches, right? It's not constrained by physical real estate, which is one huge constraint that offline retail faces. It's a store that's open 24 hours a day, which is again a constraint that the offline retail faces. It's a store that can pretty much have few millions of SKUs available on stock, which is a constraint that offline retail faces. It's a store where the ability to do retention and loyalty marketing, thanks to capturing user information and being able to analyze user purchase patterns, enables the online e-commerce company to be able to target their marketing message in a far better fine-tuned fashion as opposed to the offline retailer. So if actually put all of these building blocks together, yeah, maybe it's possible. I wish, or I'd hope, that eBay can be one of the largest retailers in India in the near future. But I think we're some distance away if you look at the size of organized retail today and compare that with the size of the online e-commerce market. But that said, online commerce is growing significantly faster than offline retail today. So at some point and someday in the not so distant future, I think it's a possibility.
Oh, so in 2004 you acquired Bazi. After that, there hasn't been any acquisition. Why is that?
Look, globally, eBay does a huge number of acquisitions, and you do acquisitions for a bunch of reasons. One reason could be international expansion. We recently bought over 100% of Gitti Gidiyor, which is the leading marketplace in Turkey. And for the same reasons why eBay bought into Bazi way back in 2004. Or you would buy it for, let's say, a technology solution. In the US, we've bought a bunch of mobile technology solutions providers to help bolster our mobile portfolio. Or we could buy it for, let's say, a new business that we are not currently present in. Case in point being Magento and JSI Commerce, which we closed the deals in the US a couple of quarters ago. Magento and GSI enable eBay to extend its presence of the eBay marketplace platform and actually power offline retailers who want to come online. And these are very robust solutions which are used by some of the top brands in the world to power their own e-commerce solutions. So these are the primary motivations for our acquisitions globally. Given the traction that we are already seeing in India, we are pretty much confident that we have what it takes in terms of people, in terms of technology, and in terms of the right business opportunities that we are playing in. And therefore, for now, we haven't seen the need. But that said, in the business of acquisitions, you never say never. Opportunities can definitely come up in the future, and when they come, we'll definitely evaluate them very, very seriously.
Okay. So do companies in India actually present themselves to be acquired by you?
Yes, that does happen.
So what are the challenges that a new e-commerce player faces, and what is the advice that you'll give him?
The biggest challenge I think an e-commerce entrepreneur would face is how high can he set his ambition, and B, for him to decide and define what is success. For some people, success means in 2-3 years selling out, right? And therefore making multiples of millions of what you have originally put into the business. I think that's extremely myopic. I'd love for more entrepreneurs to focus on building long-term sustainable businesses which can be profitable. And you don't do that by splurging millions of dollars in marketing just to acquire customers, and that too on channels which are fairly low ROI. So focus on providing the right customer experience. Invest in your product, right? That makes all the difference between success and failure, because your scale and leverage could come from there. And the third one, sure, invest in marketing, but do it prudently, do it wisely, do it with a long-term view, not to just bolster short-term traffic and valuations. Okay. Those would be the 3 pieces of advice that I can give new entrepreneurs.
Okay. So do you feel that the coming of the smartphone era, if I'm not wrong in saying that, which has entered India, and the coming of 3G, and now there are talks of 4G.
Yep.
So will that actually help the e-commerce sector, and if yes, then how?
There are multiple fundamental changes happening in the mobile arena even as we speak. One, of course, is better quality mobile internet connections courtesy 3G. Obviously, network rollouts are continuing, and that will only continue to get better. The second one is the availability of affordable smartphones. Earlier, a smartphone meant 20,000 rupees and above. Today, between 8 to 10,000 rupees, you can get a fairly good full-featured smartphone device. The third one is actually a progressive reduction in data tariffs, right? Earlier, it used to cost you 2000 to 2500 rupees a month to have internet connection on your phone every month. Today some operators provide that at 98 rupees unlimited or with some limited data cap every month. So even that's become available. And the fourth one, and the most interesting one, which is actually driving usage of mobile internet, is the usage of social networking sites. Today you find hundreds and thousands of people on their cell phones updating their Twitter and Facebook status on the move. So all of this is actually making people far more comfortable with using internet on their mobile device. As for Google, and this is a number that they released a few months ago, they believe that there are 40 million mobile internet users in India, as compared to a total of 100 million overall internet users in India. It is my belief that in the very near future, a majority of new Indians who use the internet for the first time will use this on their mobile device, right? To me, this presents a tremendous opportunity. I often ask myself in the past, what is the right time for me to get into mobile commerce? Should I get in early? Should I get in late? Should I wait for the time to market to truly take off and then make that investment? But I said the second half of this year pretty much seems to be the right time frame to get your portfolio in place, because here's an opportunity to truly pioneer mobile commerce in India, which is why we have our mobile web application. We are launching our iPhone and Android applications, and pretty much will follow with another slew of applications which work on various Nokia devices. 2012 may not be the year in which mobile commerce in terms of transactions will truly explode, but in 2012 you'll find a lot of Indians experimenting with searching for products on the move. I'm shopping offline, I quickly check for that product, I do product research. A lot of that, I believe, would be the initial stage of getting used to mobile commerce. 2013 would be a landmark year for mobile commerce in India, when transactions truly take off. There are challenges when it comes to mobile payments. I'm hoping in the next 18 to 24 months some of those gets resolved, so that if mobile payments are made more seamless, then pretty much all the large friction points for mobile commerce will start getting removed, and that will set the ground for a fantastic acceleration of or the next big wave of acceleration of growth for e-commerce in India.
Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thanks. It's been great. This VC Circle e-commerce forum in Mumbai has been a fantastic experience. I love the sessions that I attended this entire day, and wish you folks all the best for the future.
Thank you, sir.